Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. We're getting close to Madden 22 being released. And I like to go over all the teams that I am looking at controlling, managing, being the general manager or the head coach or the owner, whatever you want to call it. The team that I manage, that I'm in control of for the upcoming franchise mode. Now, obviously, I have explained how this franchise is going to be unique this year, how it's going to be different than anything else. So you guys have already seen that. Now it's time to take a look at the teams that you guys are going to be able to vote on. And if you want to see a certain team out of these 6 teams, let me know. And as much as it irks me, you guys can see clearly here, the first team is the New York Jets. Being one of the worst teams in my opinion in the league, the New York Jets come in, I think, at number 31 for my personal worst teams. The New York Jets had a horrible season last year. They do try, though, to make a big move with Zach Wilson. And wait a second. Alrighty, here we go. So I do apologize for that, but we're back. So right, like what I was saying, the Jets are looking to build. They have Zach Wilson. I think this was a decent pick. Now, don't really focus on the overalls because those are obviously subject to change, but the rosters are correct. Unless there's any last-minute free agent pickups or anything like that, these are the rosters currently that the Jets have. So Zach Wilson, we wouldn't necessarily have to focus on a quarterback, and that may be a good thing, or maybe he doesn't work out and we do. But either way, we have a rookie quarterback already if we were to pick the New York Jets, so that's awesome. I think Zach Wilson's going to be decent. And so that would be something to take in consideration for this pick. Obviously, running back position, this is what they're looking like. Again, not looking at overalls, or try not to, but for the most part, these could be pretty accurate. There is no big names at running back. Tevin Coleman, he's not bad, but he's not too good. And if you guys don't know, the Jets are coming off of a record of 2-14. They were the second worst team last year. I think they're actually going to be the second worst team again. I think Houston is in a worse spot than the Jets, in my opinion, but it's very, very close. It could go either way, but even with wide receiver, they do pick up Elijah Moore, which is a very good pick. I think 20 years old as well, so he's going to have plenty of time to grow. Denzel Mims as well, another young guy, but he's still got to prove himself. Obviously, coming off of his rookie year, he'll be a one-year vet coming into it. And then they have veterans. They have Jamison Crowder, who I believe has kind of struggled to stay healthy, I think. But no wide receivers, honestly, that are going to pick up and, you know what I mean, do it. So, same with tight end. No tight ends, really. They did pick up Kenny Yeboah, rookie, but I honestly don't even really know. It says he plays out of Ole Miss. I'm not too sure if that's correct or not. It probably is. At left tackle, I think Becton is very good. They also have the rookie Elijah. It's just going to depend on how good Madden rates him. Center, O-line is pretty sketchy, though. Let's be honest. The O-line is going to be scary for Zach Wilson, so that's another thing. And just so you guys know, I think I'm picking the hardest team. I feel like the Jets are going to be the hardest team to be successful right off the rip. This is definitely a rebuild. I guess the good thing is that we got our quarterback possibly already. Defensive line is pretty young, but it's going to be not the best. But I think with time, just growing these current players, it would already be, we're already kind of set there. It would just take time to grow. I mean, John Franklin Myers, grow him. Grow Carlson Lawson. He's already kind of growing into something decent. And then Quentin Williams is very young and already very talented. Moving at the linebackers, though, Blake Cashman, C.J. Mosley, and Jared Davis. C.J. Mosley obviously kind of trying to keep that linebacker core together. It's not very that talented. And then this is where it gets really bad. And we all know, if you watch any Jets games or even at all, they have a horrible secondary. I mean, they did not play that good at all last year. And, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick just buried these guys in one of the games. So very, very bad secondary. And that's going to be obviously something we have to tackle. Marcus Joyner at 29, and then Marcus May. I think he's going to be the only guy that we could try and build around. He's already getting close to his 30s. So that's the first overall team that I have on my selection. Obviously, kind of stings a little bit. They are in my Miami Dolphins division, but I want to bring you guys the most entertainment. So that is the first team that I am looking at possibly controlling. If you guys like that, let me know. We're going to move on, and we're going to kind of try and speed it up. I don't want to take too long because we got 6 teams to look at. So we got 5 more teams to look at. We're going to keep it in the AFC. The next team that you guys could vote for is the Las Vegas Raiders. So with this team, this is definitely more, I think, quicker success. I think we're going to have to try and find a quarterback. Derek Carr could probably, hold us down for a year or two. But I don't think he's definitely, if we're trying to build a dynasty, he's going to be the guy, right? He's already getting kind of old. He's never really hit that ceiling anyways. At running back, we're good. Not only that, but we're great. We have Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake as a good backup. For wide receivers, obviously we're going to have Henry Ruggs, the speed demon. But I do think we could use some help for him. We have our speed guy, so we would definitely need to address wide receiver, I think. But we have Henry Ruggs as our top guy, I think. Darren Waller, we're great at tight end. For O-line, I think there's a lot of holes, a very big bit of holes, but they did try to address them. Like the right tackle, Alex Leatherwood, they picked him up. If he's good, then really you just got to worry about, the middle of the line for the most part. The center and right guard are the biggest holes there. Defensive line, nothing standing out at all, so that needs to be addressed big time. Same with the linebackers. I mean, honestly, that's where this team is the most weakest. Is that front 6, front 8, whatever you want to call it, left in, right in, direct tackles, linebackers, all of them. Nobody really stepping up. For secondary, though, they have a pretty good secondary. Casey Hayward Jr., starting off with him, then Trayvon Mullen, which you're gonna have to have, because you got to think if we pick the Raiders, we got the Kansas City Chiefs to worry about, right? So, you're gonna have to have a secondary that plays good, or you're not gonna even compete. Not only that, but you have the Los Angeles Chargers who are stepping it up with possibly their franchise quarterback. So we got to have a solid defense, and I think that's why the Raiders are doing so bad. They have a decent offense, but their defense is got too many holes. They did finish 8-8 last year, so we'd be taking over an 8-8 team compared to a 2-14 team against the Jets. And again, the secondary is just complete garbage, honestly. So there's the Raiders. Let me know what you think. We could go for them as well. Then the last AFC team, so I picked 3 for AFC, 3 for NFC, would be the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think this is a team that, they have Joe Burrow, obviously. Can he stay healthy? Does he come back the same? Those are all big questions. But for the most part, I think we have our quarterback. For running back, you got Joe Mixon. So you got your running back. For wide receiver, you might need somebody there. But they have a young Jamar Chase. So I think wide receiver is pretty much set. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, none of these guys did bad. And they're all very young. I mean, I think offense is set. You might want to try and maybe draft a tight end. And then, of course, the biggest hole that we all know, as I back out of the rosters again, the biggest hole for the Bengals, I think, we would need to address right off the rip is offensive line. Horrible offensive line. They tried to do that, with Jackson Carman. We'll see if that's if that fills it up. But either way, look at this, dude. Horrible O-line. And so that would need to be addressed if we were going to get the full play, the full potential out of Joe Burrow that we want. Defensive line, honestly, isn't nothing to get excited about either. I mean, it's pretty young. It's not old, but there's nobody really standing out there. Same with the linebackers. So, again, kind of like the Raiders in that situation, except for their secondary, I would say, is not as strong as the Raiders. They got Mike Hilton holding it down, but besides that, not really much of anything. For safeties, though, they do have. That's where they come in. With Jesse Bates, the third, he's a very, very good safety. And then they got Von Bell, who is decent, and Ricardo Allen from Atlanta. But yeah, so there's the Bengals. We could do them. They did finish 4-11-1. That's why they're on this list. I still feel like, even though they got Joe Burrow and they got Jamar Chase, I don't think that they're a team that's ready to compete with that tough division. That now, in my opinion, this is the toughest division. If we were to pick the Bengals, we have the toughest division. No, we don't have the Chiefs to go against, but they're still in the conference, so we'd still have to go through the Chiefs no matter what if we want to get to the Super Bowl. But we also have to get through the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Cleveland Browns. It's no wonder why the Bengals finished 4-11-1 last year. It's not a surprise at all. Though they have big player names like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, who aren't proven yet, can they handle that tough division? I'm leaning towards this team or the Jets just because of the division the Bengals are in, and then just because of the Jets and how bad they are. I do feel like the Bengals aren't the worst team as far as roster goes, but they're in a tough division. I mean, you got to think, you're going to have to try and stop Lamar Jackson twice a year. You're going to have to try and stop the Cleveland Browns dream team roster, on paper anyways, twice a year. And then, of course, Pittsburgh always just plays competitive. All right, so there's your AFC selections. Let me know what you think of the AFC teams. If you want one of the AFC teams, vote it down in the comments below. We're going to go take a look at the NFC teams. So the first team for the NFC teams is the New York Giants. And I'm pretty sure you guys could have guessed this one. I mean, this division is, it's funny that we're going from one of the most tough divisions, in my opinion, to one of the worst. Not one of the worst, the worst. I mean, nobody had a winning record. The best team was Washington, who finished 7-9. So they have Daniel Jones, who a lot of people love Daniel Jones, and I don't think he's bad at all, but I don't know if he's that franchise guy. But we would definitely try to work with him and build around him. Now, you would have Saquon Barkley, a beast, a guy who's only fumbled it once. He's coming off a big injury, though. Is he going to come back the same? No one knows. I think he will. I think he's going to continue to be a great running back, but can he stay healthy? That's the biggest question. For wide receivers, they're not bad. They're decent all the way around. They have good depth. They picked up Kadarius Toney, which I actually like this guy. I think this was a really good pick for the Giants. I think this guy's going to be a lot better than some people think. So I think wide receivers set for the most part. You might have to address it sooner than other teams, but same with the tight end. Evan Ingram is going to be good. But then, of course, kind of the same situation that the Bengals are in. This offensive line has to be addressed. It's honestly, the Giants had a horrible O-line last year, just like the Bengals did. I think the Bengals got a little more talked about, but the Giants had a horrible O-line. So that's got to be addressed right off the rip. You're going to be getting pressure every play. For the defensive line, there's some hope here. Right end, 26-year-old Leonard Williams. I'm pretty sure he was from the Jets. They got him. That's a very good pickup. And then Dexter Lawrence. This defensive line is not bad. They just need a left end to finish off on that left side, that left rush. Get you a guy there that can put some pressure on. But I think they're set there. For linebackers, they need somebody to step up. They're young, but I just don't know if there's going to be anybody really. Blake Martinez, he actually played pretty decent. And I'm not too sure how any of these guys. It does look like they tried to address it with this pick here. So possibly you don't have to worry about left outside linebacker. That all just has. Obviously, time will tell. For the secondary, I think this is what helped the Giants try and play competitive in that division, even though it wasn't competitive at all, really. Their secondary wasn't bad. They have James Bradbury and Adoree Jackson. Those two guys are very good. They are. So I actually think Adoree Jackson's better than this overall. He's pretty decent as well. I don't know why he's so only an 82. I think he's a little higher than that. Logan Ryan, and then Jabril Peppers. I think this is a solid secondary. I think they're a little underrated here. Either way, though, this isn't, set overalls. This is just people, making a guess. But I do think the secondary for the Giants would be good for like a good 4 years if you can keep everybody together. You do got Logan Ryan getting up there in age, but he's still got it, I think, for at least 4 more years. I think what needs to be addressed is the linebacker core and the O-line. So there's the Giants, guys. Let me know what you think. That's the first NFC team we take a look at. And funny enough, we're actually staying in this weak division. I mean, does it surprise you guys? There's a lot of teams that could use our help, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Take a sip of my coffee for this one because, yes, they have won a Super Bowl recently in the last, 5 years? I think it's been, or has it already been? I don't think it's been that long. Yeah, it's been like 5. It was inside the 5-year mark. And then they crumbled and fell apart. They couldn't make a decision at quarterback. They end up finally letting Carson Wentz go, but then they let their rookie sit for a whole year, for the most part. I mean, let's be honest. So what is going on? They have Jalen Hurts, and I think part of chemistry is hurt with Jalen Hurts. I don't think he feels respected in a way. I also don't think sitting, that much is helps either. Just like how Tua sat, I didn't like. Now Tua's was different because he had an injury, right? But Jalen Hurts, you picked him early, and then he sits. He doesn't know if he's starting. Carson Wentz, you know what I mean? It was a bad way. It was handled very badly. They have Jalen Hurts. Is he the guy though? I don't know. And I think that out of all the guys, I think this is the one that chances are it might not be the guy. But you just never know. You'd have to at least let him play for that one full year number 1, and see what you got with him. At running back, you got Miles Sanders. He played pretty good. I think you'd be okay with playing him for maybe 1 or 2 years, seeing what you do. There's no rush to try and replace him, but you may, like I said, if you can have a great O-line, your running back can do great, even if he's a decent running back. Then they pick up Devontae Smith, and I think this is perfect for Jalen Hurts to have that guy who is an athlete out there. I mean, they really need a wide receiver, and I think they really do score with Devontae Smith. Jalen Reagor, Greg Ward Jr., all these guys are decent, but they got a rookie who is a freak out there. All right, he's a little smaller, 172, but he's going to be I think he's going to be great if he can stay healthy, which I think he will. I think that's going to be Jalen Hurts' favorite target. He's also going to have his tight ends to rely on, and that's good for a rookie quarterback. Dallas and Zach. These two guys are perfect for a rookie quarterback, so that just fits in. But then we get to the biggest problem with Philly. Their O-line staying healthy and just having talent at O-line. Jordan, and you kind of see a trend here. It seems to be a lot of O-line problems, right? Now with Philly, it's different though. They have a very, very talented O-line, except for the fact that they haven't been able to stay healthy last year, and they're old. They're getting older. You got 30-year-old Lane Johnson, 31-year-old Brandon Brooks, and then 32-year-old Jason. You're good on that right side in the middle, but then on that left end, you're very, very weak. So I think a couple spots there, and you're good. You could go on a 4-year run, but then you're going to have to think about replacing that O-line. Brandon Graham, for the defensive line, it's kind of, in a way, the same. You got left end and your D tackle are up there in the third, getting close to the 30s. Brandon, 32. Fletcher, 29. And then the right end, you could use an upgrade there, but a little older. I mean, honestly, overall, this team is older. And the linebackers core needs worked on. But then you have Darius Slay out there. And that's really about it for the secondary. So you're going to have to get somebody in the secondary. You have Maddox, but you need more than just 2 cornerbacks. And then I don't even think Maddox, he's like more... you're going to need some more cornerbacks if you're Philly. I mean, honestly, this whole secondary, you got to have a... Yeah. The secondary for the Eagles is definitely suspect there. And then to wrap it up for our team review on who we're going to be, and please make sure you do vote. The last team making it here, and this one is, like I said, there is a reason why we're showing this team last, because it is the last team I am considering, but I'm still considering it. It is the Minnesota Vikings. Now, again, this is the last team I'm considering, but I'm still considering them because they did finish 7-9. I didn't want to pull all 3 of my teams from the NFC East because I already pulled 2 of them. I went with the Vikings. I would go, obviously, if you were trying to pick a team and maybe you're using my choices to help you pick, for if you want to play in the NFC, you could do the Atlanta Falcons, but I did them last year. The Atlanta Falcons are in a bad way as well, so you could pick them. But let me take a sip of my coffee really quickly. For Minnesota, you have Kirk Cousins, solid guy, could play. You could probably get away with using him for a good 4 years. I don't know if we pick this team that we try and do 4 years. I definitely think maybe 1 or 2 years until we can find that good quarterback. I just don't think, I mean, he's so good. He is. He really is, but he just can't. He's just not good in the playoffs. You got to have a guy that's good in the playoffs. Running back, you're good for the whole dynasty, the whole franchise. You are good at running back. Dalvin Cook, not going to fall off anytime soon. Wide receiver, you're honestly good, man. Adam Thielen could play for another good 4 years. Then you got Justin Jefferson, who, in my opinion, one of the best wide receivers in the league and is the best youngest wide receiver in the league. You're good at wide receiver. You really don't need more than that. And then tight end, Irv Smith Jr., decent, young, gonna grow. They do pick up Zach Davidson. We'll see how he is. O-line, they picked up Christian Darrisaw. I think this guy's gonna be fantastic. I think 75, he's gonna be better than that. I think left tackle is complete. Minnesota picked up their franchise left tackle. Left guard, decent, young. I mean, this O-line is young. They got another Wyatt Davis. It just depends on how good these rookies are, but they've already addressed it for the most part. It's just now time to give them time to grow. Nobody is over an 80, which means you're going to struggle in your first year, but once they start growing and getting that play time, you're going to be set for a while. Defensive line, you're set. Delaney Hunter. He's a beast. You just need somebody to help him on the other side, maybe, so he's not getting double teamed so much. But the middle does. The middle helps him out perfect. Michael Pierce, Sheldon Richardson, Dalvin Tomlinson. This is a solid defensive line. You can move those guys around if you want. The linebacker core, though it's left outside linebackers pretty weak, they got Eric Kendricks in the middle. Anthony Barr on the right outside line to rush that quarterback. I mean, can't really ask much more for this front part of your defense. Then you go to the secondary, and this is where they're hurt the most, I think. They try to address it last year when they picked up this guy. He was decent, but didn't play too good. Patrick Peterson they do bring in. I think that's okay to hold you off. That's kind of a desperate move. They pick up Patrick Peterson. I love Pat Pete, without a doubt, right? But he's getting old. Maybe you move him to safety. But I think for the most part, that's a desperate move to try and buy them time for next year, for a year, for this upcoming year. But secondary is going to be a problem. Thank God you got Harrison Smith still out there. He is 31, so you're not going to have him for long. But safeties do tend to last way longer than cornerbacks. But you have Harrison Smith, so that's good. And then strong safety Xavier Woods. I honestly think maybe you bring, because I'm pretty sure Xavier Woods started off cornerback. He's 25. I think maybe you try either release him or move him to cornerback and move Patrick Peterson to strong safety. I think Patrick Peterson, he's smart. He's been in the league for a long time. He could learn the safety. He could transition to safety easily. He's got the size. Honestly, yeah, he's got the size. He could do it. So I think Patrick Peterson, if I control the Vikings, that's what's going to happen. I think the secondary is honestly the weakest part, and then you have to think about getting a quarterback like 2 years or 3 years after you've started the franchise. This would probably be the easiest team to use. That's why I've put them last. But I'm still 100% down to try and get the Vikings some success because they have not had it in a long time. They're built, they're ready. They just need a manager to get them to that final step. They have the team for the most part. A couple holes, not too bad though. I think we could do it. Now, of course, that's going to wrap it up for the teams. Let me know. Jets, Raiders, Bengals for AFC, or Giants, Eagles, Vikings for NFC. And now listen, you know I have to take a look at my Dolphins. It's a perfect time to do the Dolphins as well if you want to. They have a lot of young, fun rookies to use. But I did them 2 years ago, so I don't want to go back to them quite yet. I want to at least space them out. Maybe Madden 23 we do the Dolphins or something, but we did do a franchise with the Miami Dolphins in Madden 20. We did the Falcons in Madden 21, and now you guys get to choose out of those 6 teams what franchise are we doing for Madden 22. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below and pick a team. Leave it in the comments. I may even do a poll as well, so make sure to vote on that. And I'll be seeing you guys when Madden 22 releases in franchise mode. Hope you enjoy. Peace.